Hey, what's going on, guys? Troy here, coming to you from Lake Birch State Park. And if you see my hand waving around, there's actually a bunch of mosquitoes hovering around me. So I'm only gonna be at this location for a few more minutes, but I have a super interesting video topic. I wanna get into celebrities with type 2 diabetes, how they've been able to overcome type 2 diabetes and just build an amazing legacy, how they've been able to reverse the symptoms of type 2 diabetes and have overall an amazing lifestyle. So say what you want about celebrities, but they do have the best information, the best health advice. They happen to live in big cities like New York City, LA, Sydney, Australia, London. So if a celebrity has a health problem such as type 2 diabetes, you better believe they get the best information on how to reverse the symptoms of type 2 diabetes and how to still create a legacy, still work full time. So I think that we all can learn some amazing things from these celebrities with type 2 diabetes. I know firsthand I got a ton of value from just researching different celebrities with type 2 diabetes. I had heard some information I had never heard of before, so let me dive right in. First celebrity with type 2 diabetes I want to discuss is Billie Jean King. Now, this is really interesting because Billie Jean King, one of the greatest female tennis players of all time. So it's important to note that anyone can develop diabetes, even an athlete. So Billie Jean King was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at age 63. Obviously, she had stayed in phenomenal shape her whole life, but she admitted she used to be a binge eater. So she doesn't binge eat anymore, but for about 10 years, she actually had a massive sweet tooth. She would binge eat on things like cheesecake and cookies and ice cream. And this is actually a really relatable story to me, just because obviously I have to stay in shape for my job and my lifestyle. I exercise regularly, but I've also had a problem with binge eating sweets. So I used to eat a bunch of cupcakes, and I always am craving ice cream and cookies and candy. I struggle with this every day, and just because you may look healthy and fit on the outside doesn't mean that this kind of lifestyle isn't going to spike your blood sugar and cause you to have diabetic complications in the future. So I personally have gone a day where I've eaten like 12 cupcakes. I've had 2 or 3 pieces of cheesecake in a day. I've ate tons of frozen yogurt and ice cream in the same day. So how did Billie Jean King overcome this, and what is her advice to all of you? Well, she says the thing that really helped her is always think one step ahead. So you have to tell yourself before you start binge eating how you're gonna feel after. Obviously, you're gonna feel terrible after you ingest all that sugar. You're gonna massively spike your insulin. You're gonna feel really lethargic. You're gonna feel tired. You're probably just gonna wanna lay down with a stomach ache and go to bed. So type 2 diabetes doesn't discriminate. If you want to enjoy sugar and sweets your whole life, it is crucial that you indulge in moderation, or you may be forced to eliminate them cold turkey from your diet to save your health if things spiral out of control. So it's really important to make sure that you're not binge eating. Always think about how you're going to feel after, and if you guys are always conscious of how you're going to feel after a certain activity, you're a lot less likely to do that activity. Next up, this one is really inspirational. Patti LaBelle, a Grammy Award-winning singer. So she had no idea she had type 2 diabetes until she passed out on stage in 1994. She was hooked on fried chicken, pasta, cheesecake, everything bad that you could eat she was hooked on. So she's actually no stranger to diabetes complications. Her mother had leg amputations and an uncle had gone blind. So when she realized that her type 2 diabetes is really spiraling out of control, she made sure that she corrected it. So obviously, diet is crucial as a type 2 diabetic. So she actually released a couple different weight loss and diabetic friendly cookbooks. And I think this is really powerful because just because you're a type 2 diabetic doesn't mean you should feel sorry for yourself. You should actually educate yourself first on how to reverse the symptoms, and then empower other people, and that is exactly what she did. So she was actually able to use her celebrity power to empower people and educate them on the most effective ways to reverse type 2 diabetic symptoms. So obviously we can learn as much as we can about type 2 diabetes, and then we can share our story with others. You're gonna feel so much better about yourself and live a more fulfilling lifestyle as a type 2 diabetic with this mindset. So even though you may not be a celebrity watching this, with things like social media and video blog platforms like YouTube, it is easier than ever to get your story out and share with people how you overcome specific obstacles with type 2 diabetes, because if you have a specific issue and there's a unique way that you overcame it, chances are there is someone out there trying to do the same thing, and you can actually empower them with your unique tips and ideas from battling it yourself. So give back. Once you educate yourself with type 2 diabetes, once you truly learn how to reverse these symptoms, I want you guys to get in the mindset where you give back, and it's also going to make you guys feel so much better. You guys are going to be so much happier when you start to overcome these symptoms and you empower other people and you realize that your advice is not only helping yourself, but helping other people. Now, Sherri Shepherd was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in 2007, days before she actually started co-hosting on The View. She didn't change her eating habits until she had what she described as a vision for the following year. So this is so crucial, and I think this is going to help you guys a ton. So she had this vision for her son Jeffrey, who was at the time 2, lying on his bed and crying because he was trying to figure out where heaven was, where his mom was after she passed away from diabetes complications. So just knowing that her lifestyle and her type 2 diabetes could cause her to obviously lose her life, and then she thought of how her son would be, how her family would be, and how devastated they would be. That is all the motivation that we need to reverse any health issue and reverse a lifestyle. So instead of focusing on ourselves and what we can have, such as sugar and specific desserts, you should put all your emphasis and focus on your loved ones in your life and how important we are to them. So you're gonna think twice, obviously, next time you reach for that piece of cheesecake or miss that morning workout. So don't be afraid to get help. You are not an island. Hire a personal trainer, hire a nutritionist. That's exactly what she did. So obviously she had some disposable income, being a celebrity, being a TV host, but it's not super expensive to hire a personal trainer and get a nutritionist that can whip you guys into shape. It's important to educate yourself on type 2 diabetes, and it's also really important to hire outside help to make the transition easier and battle type 2 diabetes with a great support system. Next up, we have Paul Sorvino, Goodfellas and Law and Order actor, was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in 2006 after feeling really tired and thirsty for months. So all he did essentially to reverse these symptoms is he had a lot healthier lifestyle. So he has his diabetes under control thanks to healthier eating, exercise, meditation, all natural supplements, and he does, at the start he did take daily insulin injections. Now he's been able to drop his blood sugar to the point where he no longer needs them. He also quit smoking. Now this is really important because smoking appears to disrupt your glucose metabolism in a number of ways. It raises levels of fatty acids in the bloodstream, which promotes insulin resistance in the skeletal muscles, also increases your oxidative stress and blood levels of the stress hormone cortisol, both of which can interfere with insulin signaling. So this is really important, that if you are smoking and you're a type 2 diabetic or you have pre-diabetic symptoms, being able to quit smoking is crucial. Now, getting into the next story, Mike Huckabee, the former presidential hopeful and Fox News host. So he actually has lost 105 pounds. In 2003, he was diagnosed with diabetes. After one morning, he woke up with a numb and tingly arm. So soon after the death of his friend and former Governor Frank White, this actually motivated him to get healthy. So it's really important to note how he did this. So not only is specifically what you eat important, but it's the quantity. So he had dropped from a 3,000 calorie a day diet to 1,600 calories a day. It's also important to note that he did not completely eliminate carbohydrates from his diet. He rather made sure he got in a lot of fiber. He increased his veggie intake. He also increased the consumption of insulin desensitizers such as vinegar, lemon water, green tea, and cinnamon pills. So just increasing the fiber, drinking more water, taking these insulin desensitizers not only made him full for longer periods of time and prevented him from overeating, while also keeping his total calories down for the day, also kept his insulin levels in check. So make sure if you do consume carbohydrates, you stick with really high fiber choices like quinoa and sweet potatoes, lots of fresh fruit and vegetables. There's no need to completely eliminate carbohydrates. It is more important that you eliminate all the excess calories. So he was able to go from 3,000 calories a day to 1,600. And if you have really whole, nourishing food, 1,600 calories is still gonna seem like a lot. So he was able to reverse his symptoms, lose over 100 pounds. And as you can see by the before and after picture, he now looks 100 times better. So those are 5 celebrities with type 2 diabetes, and I was so inspired by just reading about how they overcome the complications, how they educated themselves and then empowered other people, gave something back. So just look at Patti LaBelle being able to write diabetic cookbooks, weight loss friendly cookbooks. So she had a major issue, she reversed this issue, she lost a bunch of weight, and now she's inspiring people and empowering them and giving back. So with social media and YouTube and all these video blogging platforms, if you think you have some really unique tips, some really unique advice that would be specific to a type 2 diabetic, put yourself out there. You guys are going to feel amazing once you give back, and people are inspired by other people. So if you share firsthand what helped you reverse the signs of type 2 diabetes, I feel like it should be your responsibility to get it out there, whether it be just to some family members or close friends, whether it be getting on camera and putting your message out there on YouTube or your blog. Make sure you guys always give back and always try to share what you learned along the lines of your battle with type 2 diabetes. So I think it's also really important to note that all these people, I know I only specifically talked about it with Mike Huckabee, but it wasn't all about what these people ate, it was about the quantity. So you guys have to start losing weight as a type 2 diabetic. You have to increase your metabolism, and the best thing to do is reduce your total calorie count. This doesn't mean you have to completely starve yourself of the foods you love and enjoy. So I want you guys to look at this specific example. Say you have a really dense whole grain bagel, which has approximately 350 to 400 calories. It's going to have anywhere between 60 and 80 grams of carbs, depending on what kind of bagel you get. Then you have a donut hole, which obviously has a lot of added sugar, has a lot of unhealthy ingredients, but a donut hole is much smaller. It's going to have under 150 calories. It's going to be better for you guys to eat that donut hole than the 350 to 400 calorie really dense bagel, just because it's going to help keep your total calories down. As long as you're not getting a lot of other fat from other sources, that donut hole is actually going to be a superior choice. So I don't want you guys to think that you can never enjoy anything sweet or decadent again. I want you guys to understand that it's more about keeping your total calorie count down so you can start to lose weight, and this is going to really reverse the signs of type 2 diabetes faster than anything. So I hope you guys got a ton of value from this. I know celebrities, say what you want about them. You might have different opinions about these celebrities. You might not like them. You might not like their lifestyle and their choices, but it's important to note that these people are going to get the best advice on health. If they have type 2 diabetes, you better be sure that they're going to ask a lot of people in their close circle. They're going to ask the best doctors and nutrition experts on how they can reverse the symptoms quickly. So I think we all can learn a lot from this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you guys soon.